Welcome to the Crystal Library, a pocket-sized portal into the magical, mysterious, and sometimes misunderstood world of crystals. I'm your host, Ashley, and each week I'll guide you as we explore one enchanting stone, its history, lore, healing properties, and one easy way to invite its magic into your everyday life. Whether you're crystal curious or deep in the woo, this is your space to learn, explore, and expand your connection to the mineral realm, one glittering gem at a time. So let's open the library and see which crystal wants to speak today. Oh, hello. Welcome back to the Crystal Library. I'm Ashley, and today we're going deep on a stone that's become one of the most requested pieces in the entire agate family, and that's flower agate. But before I get started, I feel like I need to light a little incense, set a good intention. I have a full day ahead of me with my boys, and they're currently in the other room just having some sort of battle. And I told them, hopefully, I told them to not interrupt me during this podcast recording. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, yes, flower agate. I found my beautiful flower agate my tower right before I started recording. And this is such a lovely, beautiful piece. I think I got that. I think I got this piece at a crystal shop here in the town where I live. Do a little smoke cleanse of my flower agate tower because I haven't had this little beauty out in quite some time. Okay, so let's just get started. So if you've spent any time in a crystal shop in the last, let's say, a few years, you've probably seen this stone. It's kind of, it comes in a lot of different varieties that are sort of similar, but usually it's kind of a soft white, sometimes peach, sometimes almost white. This one is almost like a purple gray, and it has these delicate white plumes suspended inside it that look exactly like flowers that are caught mid-bloom, and it photographs beautifully. It doesn't really look like anything else on the shelf. And the interesting thing that I noticed in all of my research is that every source you'll find on the stone opens the same way. Flower agate. It was discovered in Madagascar in 2018. New, rare, recently found. Like that's what all the different books that I did research on kind of said the same thing. And if you stop there, it sounds like something out of an adventure story, right? Geologists in the field, a discovery moment, a stone the world didn't know existed until 7 years ago. But that's not really what happened. And figuring out what actually happened is where this episode starts. Because here's the thing about discovered in 2018. Nobody tells you who discovered it. I couldn't find a name. There was no geologist name attached. There's no papers that I could find, no specific institution. Every single source repeats the same sentence. Discovered in 2018, but none of them go back further than that sentence to find out where it came from. And that's not something that is only with this particular stone. It's about how information gets moved through space. Kind of like the game telephone, right? So a claim gets stated once somewhere by somebody, then it gets repeated by the next site and the next one and the next one. And by the 20th repetition, it doesn't sound like a claim anymore. It actually sounds like it's a fact. And nobody's lying. Nobody's making this up. They're just copying each other. And the copying itself is what makes it feel true. So before we get into what the stone actually is, what it's made of, how it forms, what it might be able to teach you, we're going to do something most sources on flower agate skip entirely. We're going to find out what discovered in 2018 actually means, because the story is better than the one everyone's telling. Okay. Let's see here. Let me just adjust something really quick. Okay. So let's chase this down. If flower agate was discovered in 2018, what does that actually mean? Agate itself has been known for over 2,000 years. What's specific to flower agate is the plume pattern showing up in material coming out of central Madagascar. Okay, I'm going to try to say this region of Madagascar, but I'm sure I'm going to say it completely wrong. Amba to Finandarana. Okay. Around 2018, that material started reaching international dealers in real quantity, and somebody in the trade gave it a name that would sell. And that's not really a geological discovery. That's a trade name. Flower agate is a trade name. There's no mineralogist behind it. There's no paper. There's no institution. Just the same sentence repeated pretty much word for word across every dealer in sight and crystal directory with nothing behind it. Like some stones have like a specific person, geologist that found it like at a specific time. And this one doesn't really have that. And I want to be clear about this. Like, I'm not saying the stone is fake or that Madagascar isn't the source. I'm saying discovered is doing work it hasn't really earned. What changed in 2018 wasn't the earth. The earth didn't produce this new stone all of a sudden. The supply chain did, which brings up the better question: what is this stone actually made of? And how did that get that pattern in the first place? So flower agate, you guys, I'm kind of having a hard time because since I got sick, like my ears have been really plugged and it's making me pronunciate things really weird. I don't know what's going on with that, but it's extremely annoying. And I feel really congested this morning still, so bear with me. But flower agate is chalcedony, a cryptocrystalline form of quartz, same base material as most agates, chemically just a silicon dioxide. What makes it flower agate specifically is what happens during formation. And that story starts with volcanic rock. When lava cools, gas gets trapped inside it. And as that gas escapes or the rock solidifies around it, you get cavities, vesicles, which are pockets of empty space inside what's now solid basalt. Over time, groundwater rich in dissolved silica moves through that rock and starts seeping into those cavities. Layer by layer, over what's likely millions of years, that silica-rich fluid deposits chalcedony inside the empty space. That's agate formation. Most agates in the world form exactly this way. So, where do the flowers come from? This is the part almost nobody explains correctly. So the plume patterns aren't a different mineral pressed into the stone. They're variations in the chalcedony itself, specifically changes in how fast the silica was depositing, combined with trace elements like iron, manganese, and titanium getting incorporated at different rates as the chemistry of that fluid shifted. Here's the part that matters for what we're about to get into. When the depositing conditions stay steady, same fluid, same rate, same mineral content over and over, you get regular, even concentric bands. And that's the classic agate, even like in the recent blue lace agate episode that I had on here. But when conditions keep changing, when the mineral supply surges and drops and surges again, the growth pattern breaks from banding into these irregular, feathery, three-dimensional plumes. The flower isn't a decoration that got added to the stable stone. The flower is what happens when the process refuses to hold still, which means the single most recognizable, most photographed, most desired feature of this stone exists specifically because the conditions that made it were unstable. Here's where I want to push on something because I think the crystal healing industry gets this stone almost completely backwards. From my perspective, you guys, this is literally just my own opinion, okay, based on my research and my readings and all the things. So most sources, pretty much every source, calls flower agate calming, soothing, a stone of peace. And I get that. I understand why, because it's soft colored, it's associated with the heart, it feels kind of gentle to hold. But look at what we just went through. The thing that makes this stone valuable, the thing that makes it flower agate instead of just plain banded agate, is a record of instability. Steady conditions produce even bands. Common, unremarkable agate. It's this unstable period, the fluctuating, unpredictable, chemically chaotic stretch that produced the pattern everyone actually wants. So when the wellness world hands you crystals as a tool to get back to calm, to smooth out the turbulence, to return to some steady baseline, this stone is direct evidence against the whole framework. The most prized material here isn't the product of calm, it's the product of a system that kept changing before it had the chance to settle. I think that's worth taking seriously outside of geology too. There's a real cultural pressure right now to treat any instability in your life, a job that hasn't settled, a relationship you haven't figured out, work that keeps changing under you, as a problem. Something has to fix, medicate, or meditate your way out of as fast as possible. You want to get back to baseline, get back to calm, but calm doesn't produce the pattern, the turbulence does. What you're in the middle of right now, if it's genuinely unresolved, isn't necessarily the delay before your life starts. It might be the actual mechanism that's shaping what you become. The flower doesn't show up after the chaos settles. It shows up because the chaos didn't settle yet. That's not a reason to go looking for more instability. It's a reason to stop treating the instability you already have as pure loss. So, if you want to work with this stone, here's how I'd actually use it. And it's not to calm down. Put it somewhere you'll see it, your desk, your nightstand, wherever you land your eyes daily. Do this during a period where something in your life hasn't settled yet. A job that's shifting under you, work that isn't finished, a relationship you haven't figured out. And every time you see it, you're not asking it to soothe you. You're reminding yourself that the turbulence you're in right now is the thing doing the work, not the delay before the work, but the work itself. And I think that's such a great reframe on this stone. This isn't a stone you reach for to escape the chaos faster. It's a stone you keep visible specifically so you stop treating the chaos as something to get through. You're using it as a marker, a physical reminder that what's happening right now, mid-flux, unresolved, is the actual formation process, not a detour from it. When things finally do settle, and they will, you can look back and recognize which parts of that unstable period became the pattern. But that recognition comes after. While you're in it, the job of this stone isn't to tell you you'll be fine. It's to tell you that fine isn't the point yet. Flower agate has big crystal energy because it proves the most valuable thing about you might be the part that hasn't settled yet. So, have a beautiful day, my friends. Mwah, 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 mwah. If you're in a time of turbulence, maybe you just need to go get some flower agate and put it in your desk, and eventually everything will be okay. Bye. Thank you for visiting the Crystal Library. I hope today's stone offered just the magic you needed. If you loved this episode, share it with your favorite mystic and tag me on Instagram at mystical.mama.ash or at Big Crystal Energy Podcast. And if you're feeling generous, leave a 5-star rating and review. It helps this magic reach more curious souls. Until next time, keep your crystals close and your intuition closer.